The story we tell ourselves. Chapter 1. Bethany Christian versus Lakeland. Wrinkles and knots. It was our first match of the season, and we had some wrinkles to iron out and some knots to untie, but overall, it was a great night of tennis. Judah's match was full of highlights. His forehand was on fire. He was keeping the ball low and cracking away when he got to the net. He lost his serve for a little bit in the second set, but believed he could figure it out. He lifted the toss a little higher, and he went on to close out his match. That match at one singles actually was the clincher, because we already had 2 points before that. The first was Elias at 2 singles, perhaps the most confident win of the night. He really impressed in this match, the way he was able to get to the net using short balls and also driven balls into the backhand. His overhead was on fire too.
Go Elias.
The other early team point came from Jordan and Lucas at 2 doubles. They really dominated the first set, but they ran into their knot right at the end of it. From up 5-0, they had a little bit of a wobble. Dropped a game, dropped the first 2 games of the second set, and then, starting with Jordan's serve, they breezed through the rest of the match. They regained confidence, regained their control of the net, winning 5 games in a row again to close out the match. With all 3 points secured, we turned our attention to 3 singles. That was where Aaron was transitioning to singles for the first time in true match play. He was placing his ground strokes well, and they were able to draw random errors. He was also getting to the net and using his overhead. With his win, we were up 4-0, and we had to deal with the biggest wrinkle of them all at 1 doubles. After a fairly confident first set, Malka and Ethan found themselves down 5-4 in the second. Their own games were full of little knots, shots that they just weren't quite confident in. Because of that, their feet and their focus were kind of everywhere. But they really responded under the pressure. They played a great 2 games to turn a 5-4 deficit into a 6-5 lead. The Lakers fought back with some great serving to send it to a tiebreak. But in the tiebreak, Ethan and Malachi both upped their serves and upped their net game. On the final point of the match, Ethan ripped a forehand down the line and sealed it. So, the match challenged us to respond to different wrinkles and to new things, to nerves, to disappointment, to downturns in our own play. But we responded to those wrinkles and knots tonight. The JV story was a little bit different. We have a lot of experienced players who know what the team is trying to be about, growth and joy. That started at the top with Isaiah, showing both of those characteristics. His shots were strong and he showed his growth. The other matches took longer than Isaiah's, but Silas and Eli were able to put point number 2 on the board for the JV. Despite some early struggles with focus and consistency, Silas's net game was enough to keep them on top. Eli found reliable play from the baseline and set up shots for Silas to put away. Aiden provided the 3rd Bruin JV point in a long match where he was really dominant. His footwork and movement were real keys, allowing him to outlast his opponent. He had some awesome moments where he smashed balls into the corner and got to the net. The 4th and final point came from Sam. He played back against the same player Isaiah had played, but Sam showed great placement on his ground strokes and was able to pull away for the win. His backhand was especially laser-like, finding cross-court corners time after time. The other matches that we didn't win were Josiah and Ender. They were able to show some great growth as well and play very, very close match. And then finally, Ethan and James. James was playing his first match of high school tennis, and he was able to put some highlight volleys away. And Ethan was able to find a backhand that really worked to win cross-court returns. However, they ended up falling 8-4. In all, it was a 4-2 win for the JV, a great night to celebrate some great wins. Let's go, Bruins!